Brenda, I've seen a lot of storyboards that you and Roger kind of worked on, and it looks to me like you guys were almost like one brain kind of being put together. And at the same time, I understand you had a sequence, the wolf fight sequence, where afterwards, Belle and the Beast, which I'm sure was a very important, that relationship had to work. And I think you had Tracy and Hepburn in your head about that. Am I correct that was some inspiration for the way you approached those characters at that point? Or talk about working on that kind of relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I love the old Tracy Hepburn films, and yeah, they were partly in my head, but partly, looking at Beast's character and how grumpy he had been throughout the beginning of the film. So I thought, well, he's going to be a big baby. Ow, it's like, so, I thought, well, he's going to yell at her, but Belle's going to yell right back, and it's like, and it was just a back and forth, and it was very Tracy Hepburn, and, but I remember pitching it for the first time, and Howard Ashman was in the room, and he goes, that's it, that is it, and then I was a horrible pitcher, to be quite honest. And so Jeffrey came in a few days later, and I pitched it again, and I totally tanked it. And Howard's there. No, it's great. You got to say it. Just wait a minute. So Howard saved that sequence.
Love Howard.
Yeah. So I'm going to skip to Mark and come back to Paige. So Mark, you worked on a lot on Belle, and Belle. There were several people that worked on her because she's in the whole movie, and so it was a huge character to concentrate on. So could you talk a little bit about? I think Belle was they're still making strides in animation and in movies about the way women are portrayed, but Belle, I think, had a special, unique quality for a Disney film in particular. Could you talk about that process and developing that character?
Well, she first let me just give a shout out to James Baxter and Lorna Cook, who were kind of the other two heads of our kind of three-headed monster. I was located at the Florida studio at the time, so I was kind of the head Belle guy, ding dong in Florida. But yes, Belle is very unique, and one of the things that makes her unique is in the lineup of our leading ladies, she's probably the oldest. And not that her age is old, but she is compared to, say, Ariel, who was 16. She's like, I'm 16, Daddy, But Belle is older and much more mature, and I always thought that was a very unique quality to her. So she kind of knew her mind. She knew kind of what she wanted to do. She wasn't looking for a new world so much as she, was really comfortable with herself. But she loved her father, and she was willing to do things, out of that love for him particularly. And I think, that was a really unique situation. Plus the fact, and Brenda kind of alluded to it, is the fact that she and Beast weren't, it's not love at first sight, that there's an actual relationship that you see grow throughout the film that I think is very magical and what makes this film very magical.
Okay. So Paige, I believe you recorded all of the songs for this film with a live orchestra and
Yes.
went straight through. Can you talk about what an experience that was and what you remember from that?
Oh, it was amazing. We were it was basically the full Philharmonic, and we were there and we were singing live, and Richard was with me and we were singing, and we were waiting for Miss Lansbury to sing her song, and we heard that she was trepidatious about it, and I will never forget it, Miss Lansbury, Angela, when you sang your first take of Beauty and the Beast, there wasn't a dry eye in the studio, and I'm told that was the take they went with in the film, and I had idolized Angela Lansbury my whole career, and when I first came to New York at 17, I was sneaking into the second act of Gypsy to see Angela play Mama Rose. So it was a great honor, and so that was actually more important than what I sang, getting to see her do that.
So what was your key to understanding Belle, and when you were creating the character, what was your...
Well, Belle is really, she's an embodiment of so many different people, between, the writers, the directors, the animators, the artists. I mean, she's really, there are maybe 25 people that created Belle who share Belle with me. And I think the most incredible thing about this movie is that I've never worked on a project on Broadway or anywhere where every single person, every artist, director, person, writing, actor, whether it's an assistant that works on the film, everyone had the same vision of what the film should be. And people sacrificed and put egos aside to make this as perfect as a film it could be. And nobody was willing to not give it 150%. And I think that's partly why it's going to be a classic for all time.